Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om all. Welcome to Monthly Sadhana Session. And today's topic is contentment, the key to turn within. So before we start this topic, I'll start this with a story of a deer which lived in the Himalayas. A deer, very delicate deer, very soft creature. And it lived in the lush green Himalayan valleys, and it had everything: lush green forests, fruits, flowers, mountains are surrounding it, beautiful valleys. But it will wake up every morning with a feeling that there is something missing, and that was, it will wake up with an extraordinary, enchanting fragrance. And that fragrance it wants like anything, and it tries to chase it. It chases it, it runs here and there, it goes up the hills, it goes down the valleys, through the thorny bushes, through the meadows of flowers, and it just keeps running. Days, nights, weeks, months, years. And sometime when its life is over, then that chase ends. But it cannot find that fragrance. I'm talking about a musk deer. The fragrance is coming from inside it. That gland is there, that fragrance is inside it, but it is unaware of it. And it keeps chasing it like anything. And why you will think, why this beginning with a sad story of something which is unfulfillment, a story of unfulfilled being. But the thing is, we are like that deer. We run in our lives from one achievement to other, from one joy to other. We are in constant search. We try to achieve something, there is a goal we try to achieve, we get it, and then there persists a hollowness, and then again we push that limit, and then we again run. So like that hiran, mriga or deer, we keep running. That's why this story was important, to acknowledge that what is our state right now. And today's sadhana session is about, we are not going to explore something new. It is like that deer, that fragrance is still there, but it is unaware. So we are going to explore one value, one thing, one sadhana that can help us stop that chase, that can help us stop running and actually turn within, actually find what is already there. To find that only, we will see that, what is that? Santoṣa or contentment. So to begin, let's just first see what is this problem. Why are we running? To treat a disease, first we diagnose. So that is the important thing, and we will do that only. What is the diagnosis of this our attitude, our habits of chasing, of running? What is the problem here? Why we are doing it? So Upanishads, our Shastra explore every aspect of human psyche, human psychology, what mind is doing, how it is doing. So our Shastra explores that, and in Kaṭha Upaniṣad you will find the answer why this chase is always there, why the human mind is always running to find something, to hold on to something, but it fails. So the mantra goes like this: Paranchikhani vyatranat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. Means, Paranchikhani vyatranat swayambhu. The literal translation will be that the Lord, like, slapped the senses to, and when you slap and your face is turned, like that, the senses are slapped and they are turned outside. So what we can understand, the Upanishads have a mystical language, but it's the gurus and acharyas which explore the meaning, deep meaning of them. So what the mantra is saying, that the setting of our senses is like we are, it is outward facing. It is outward facing always. It is receiving from outside, but never turned inside. Tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. Means That's why, because the setting is like that, that we are always, the senses are always turned outside. So what happens, that we are always focused in the outside world. Material world is where our focus is always. Tasmat parang pashyati. Outside it looks, na antaratman, not inside, never inside. Practically, if we want to explore, then I am right now seeing that screen, or I am hearing the sound of the birds outside. It's not like I can see my eyes or I can hear my heartbeat. For that, I need another outside source like its stethoscope to hear. Always the stimuli is coming from outside. So this is our, we can say, factory setting. It is like this. We cannot blame it. It's not like we are not spiritual. We are not made for a spiritual life. But first our hindrance, or you can say challenge, is that our senses are turned outside, and that's why our attention is always outside. Now what happens? Why it is a problem? It is a problem because of this condition of senses being turned outside and never they explore what is inside us. The problem is we tend to believe that it's a small, very innocent mistake and natural mistake, that we tend to believe that happiness is outside. Because what I like if I like eating ice cream, so it's outside, coming from outside, that joy is coming from outside. So my mind tells it is happiness is outside. Or if I like listening to music, then also it is outside. Everything is outside, that all the inputs are coming from outside that are telling me that I am happy when I am getting that things from outside. So it just makes us believe that happiness is outside, and that's why the chase starts, and chase keeps on going. It does not stop. So what is next? Okay, we chase. Suppose we gain something, that I say I liked ice cream, I went to the shop and I got it and I ate it, I enjoyed it. But does this chase end here? Is it of any use? The same Upanishad tells, it diagnoses the problem, then it also tells that na vittena tarpaniyo manushya, means there is no wealth in this world that can satisfy a human being. Means whatever you gain, it will not be enough. If we can think, no, it is just an idealistic approach that nothing is enough, but maybe what next I am dreaming about, if I'll gain that, I'll be happy. The mind tells that. But what happens, as we discussed, what happens, we'll get something for some time, yes, we will be happy, but after that pleasure fades. It fades away, and then again that hollowness comes, and then again we will put another desire in place of the earlier one and start chasing it. I wanted a job, I got a job. Then I wanted promotion. Okay, I got a promotion. And now I wanted to own a company. Okay, I own a company. No, now I want to be a millionaire. Okay, I'm a millionaire. It will not stop. It will not stop, because desire is like that. The structure is like that of human desire, human being's mind and the desire relationship is like that. It is said that the more you fulfill, the more it will come about, it will flare up like you add ghee in the fire. So our problem is this, and if we chase, then also if we get it, then also it is not giving us satisfaction. So that's why we started with that story. We are the deer who is always on the run. Okay, then actually what we are searching, okay, that deer was searching for fragrance. What we are searching? In every chase, in every goal that we set, the main thing is happiness. We want to derive happiness from it. That is our goal. Whether you say that, no, I just want to fill my belly, that is the thing. But it is for your happiness. It will give you satisfaction at some level. It is for your happiness. It will pacify the mental agitations. So it is for your happiness. I want to get married. That is for my happiness. I don't want to get married. It is for my happiness. Everything, every decision, every action is driven by that desire of happiness. So that happiness is the core that we are desiring and we are running for. But that Upanishads only tell us, the Shastra only tell us, they give us clear solution also, that it is not outside. we saw that it cannot be outside. Something finite cannot give you the happiness that we are looking for. We are always looking for a happily ever after. We are always looking for a happiness that never ends, and that the finite objects cannot give, because they will end. They are finite in nature. So Upanishads tell that they declare that Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat means the one who knows Brahman, that Brahman is Ananda, and then that Brahman you are, Aham Brahmasmi, that Brahman you are, Tattvamasi. All these declarations are there to just make us understand that just a little bit of change in your vision can give you all the fulfillment that you are looking for. Now, so we understood that there is a problem that we are running outside, and the solution is that the fulfillment is actually inside. It is happiness, all fulfillment, all happiness is inside. We are full, complete. Purnamadav Purnamidam, we do Shanti mantra, and the meaning is that only, I am Purna. Nothing can be like remaining in the infinite. There can be no Shesha, there can be no remainders. We are full. Then why we don't feel it? Or that we'll explore later. But now the Upanishad only tells that it is not stopping where it is explaining the problem, or that the problem is intensified because the desires are not fulfilled. It is taking it further, and that same mantra, Paranchikhani Vetrat Swambhu Tasmat Parang Pashyati Na Antaratman Kaschit Dhira Pratyagatmanam Akshat Avritta Chakshuhu Amratatvam Icchan means Kaschit Dhira. Now that it clarifies, Kaschit Dhira, one rare person will do what? Okay, understood that it is a factory setting, but still somebody will analyze the outside world, will analyze the joys that are coming from outside, and realize that it is not enough for me, and that person will try to gain that immortal bliss that our Shastra tell, and then the Avritta Chakshu, that person will turn in. That turning in is the spiritual life. Now, what our topic today is, that we'll start now actually. So that turning in, now I'll take you to school physics little bit. We studied that to move anything, we need a force. And to rotate something, there is a special force called torque, right? So, so our mental energies are right now directed outside. And the solution is to turn in where the fulfillment is. Now, how will this turning happen? This turning can happen when there is a torque of contentment. The contentment will act as a force which can turn you in. Turning in, you can find everything. Turning in, you can apply all the sadhanas that you have learned. But how to turn in? That turning point is contentment. That is contentment, and that is very important. Sometimes we tend to dismiss it as a quality that Virakta Purushas will have, or somebody who is retired will practice contentment or will be content, or we take it as after achieving something you will get that feeling of contentment. But today we will explore that contentment is a sadhana. Contentment is the point from where the life, that vision turns from material world to spirituality. That is the starting point where we can turn in and explore the world that is unexplored till now, that is our self. So contentment is like a torque, a force like torque. So what it does, it like that force only, it is not destroying that energies which are outside, which are directed outside and engaged in various activities of gaining outside happiness. It is not destroying that energy, but what it is doing, contentment, when you are content, the mental energies are turned in and they are focused in your sadhanas which you are pursuing to advance in your spiritual life. So contentment actually just redirect the energy. That is the first point where that is needed for you to become spiritual. Most of us have that, but I'm just emphasizing on this point that why contentment is so essential, and at moments when we can lose it, we should try to practice it. So now we will go on the topic, what is contentment? To understand what is contentment, let's do first neti, what it is not. So what contentment is not? Because why it is important? Because sometimes it is being confused with complacency. Some years back, I heard in a conversation with someone that, Bharat is not growing, Bharat is not developing because people are too content. People they don't have that fire. They are too content. They don't want to grow. They leave everything on destiny. Now, here the problem is in understanding what the contentment word means. Contentment is not complacency. Here the confusion is between complacency, inefficiency, and comparing and calling it as contentment. We may have many problems, but contentment is not a problem. It is a value. It is a great value which we should practice, which we should imbibe in our lives. So contentment, what it is not. Contentment is not, as we saw, contentment is not laziness. Say, there is an exam which I want to write, but I come to know that it is very tough. The exam is very tough. Now I say, oh no, it is very tough. I don't want to give it. Why? I am content with my situation right now. I don't want to write that exam. That is not contentment. That is laziness. That is running away. That is escapism. So contentment is not that laziness where the person avoids effort. It's not like, it is said in Hindi, there is a phrase called angur khatte hain. It is not like that you are not getting something, that's why you are content. No. Contentment is opposite. You are putting effort, but you are not insisting on the results. We'll explore it more, but right now the point is this: it is not laziness. Contentment is not lack of motivation. It is there are sometimes situations where we can be confused that when we say that do not insist on result, that means there is no motivation when result is not there. But we are not talking about that. We are saying that contentment is not lack of motivation in a way. Everybody works with a result in mind. Nobody works without an outcome in mind. Nobody will move a finger without having a result in mind. But the contentment where it comes in play is you are doing your best. You have a motivation, you have a goal, you are doing your best, you are motivated by it, but you are not insistent that you should get it like anything, that it is the whole world, or your whole happiness depends on that one result, and if you don't get it, you will be depressed, you will be disappointed, you will be broken. No, that contentment, yes, of course it is not that. Contentment is not lack of motivation. It actually moves you further. It actually helps you to be more efficient. So, and it is not also an act of suppression of your aspirations. As we said, that it is not like you do not dream, you do not aspire for things, you do not look for a new job, or you do not look forward for your promotions or writing exams. No, contentment is what you have right now. You know that it is enough, and you employ all your resources judiciously, very effortfully, but without any anxiety. The anxiety factor is gone when you are having this value of contentment. And it is not inefficiency. As we said, inefficiency is something of more closer to laziness. It is not that you are content, so that means I am inefficient. No, actually contentment is a value. If you have that, then you can perform very efficiently, because you don't have those strings of being attached to that insistence of getting a result. So it frees you. The mind is freeze, not ZD, freeze. It frees you. That freedom to act, that you have. So that is the most important thing. Then one more important thing, contentment is not fatalism. Fatalism means that it is predetermined. Everything is predetermined, and I do not need to act. Everything is decided. Why should I take so much headache? Let's be content with whatever I am getting. No, all these things what we discussed, lack of motivation and suppression of aspirations and laziness, all this is actually the impact of tamas that Gita wants us. It's tamas related things. It's not contentment. Contentment is coming out from a feeling of fulfillment. So we saw what contentment is not. Let's see what is contentment then. Contentment is actually, in simple words, it is acceptance. It's not tolerance. Tolerance is like you don't want it and you are tolerating it somehow. No, acceptance of whatever you have, you are accepting it fully. Whatever resources you have right now, you accept, you acknowledge, and you work with that. And you know that it is enough. Enough for this moment to move ahead. That is acceptance without agitating your mind, without any agitations in your mind. That is contentment. Then contentment also is how it will express it is emotional moderation. You will not be like elated one moment and in despair other moment. It will give you that balance, contentment. If you have that contentment feeling that what I have is enough, and what I am going to do with this is this much is my right now adhikara, and I will do this much. And this is where the emotional, that maturity comes, that you are neither disappointed, you are neither too much elated that you fall and you will start crying the other moment. So that helps. Then it is freedom, as we discussed. It is freedom from compulsive wanting. That now most of the times we want things one after other. It's like supermarket culture. You go with a list, a small list, but you end up buying a couple of bags of things you don't even need, but because it is so nicely advertised that you are convinced that you have that need in your life. So it is borrowed that needs that you have, that is not there if you have this acknowledgement that what I have is enough, what I need is this much, this clarity that what I need, that should be there, and that comes when you practice this contentment. And it is inner sufficiency. It is you act with effortlessly with that fulfillment, with that inner fulfillment that you have, because there is no mental agitations pulling you down that I want this, I want that, if I don't get this then I cannot succeed in life, if I don't have this person in life, my life is in ruin. No, what you have in this moment, right at this moment, you are sufficient, you are feeling sufficient, fulfilled in that, and you are acting with that with full effort. That is what contentment is, how contentment actually expresses in life. Then we can also see, if we want to question, then we can question how it is a sadhana. I mean, contentment is a feeling, right? Either you are content or you are not content. It is a feeling. Why? How can we practice it actually? But love is a feeling also, and we practice it. Love thy neighbor, right? And peace is also one feeling that you have, but you practice it. Somebody is being rude to you, you want to thrash that person, but you are practicing peace and you are not doing it. So that is also a practice. Same way, contentment is also a practice. It can be a practice. And in simple words, if I have to tell in 2 lines, then Kabir Das ji tells it beautifully. He says, साईं इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुंब समाए, मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं, साधु न भूखा जाए. Very simple lines, profound meaning. Sai itna dijiye, hey, oh Lord, give me that much. How much? Sai itna dijiye, jame kutumb samaye. That can fulfill my family. Main bhi bhooka na rahun, I may not get hungry, sadhu na bhooka jaye. And the guest who is coming to my door, that also should not leave hungry. This much is enough. And that is what Kabir Das ji is telling. What is the practice actually in our life? Simple way, what is the practice? This is the practice. That what you need, that is enough, and you just try to limit your needs in that. Do not try to borrow the wants, just seeing the others, seeing the advertisements. That is the practice. What you need, that you ask. He is not saying that do not give me anything, that I am a Virakta Purusha, I am a Jivan Mukta, I do not need anything. No, he is fully aware of his responsibilities towards his family, towards the society, towards his body that he has as equipment. So that's why he is telling, give me enough to fulfill my needs. That's it. Then, so that's why it is a practice. It seems very simple, but it is not simple enough. And I mean, practicing enough is not simple enough. So because our mind is always talking, it's always has a noise, more, it wants more. So that is what content. But why should we practice it now? We should see. Okay, we discussed what is contentment, what it is not, why we run, what is the solution. Now we are going to see what is the ultimate result that contentment gives. Contentment, in the Yoga Sūtras, contentment, Maharishi Patanjali says, Santoṣat anuttamaha sukha labha. Means there is no other happiness that can excel that Santoṣa, contentment. Now he is telling you can take it at two levels, paramarthik level also and vyavaharik level also. That is, when a Mahatma realizes, then of course he is living the contentment which is the ultimate fulfillment. But for the seekers also, it is a practice, because Santoṣa, if you are content in your present, then you will not be running outside for things that you are lacking. Your mind is telling you are lacking. You are in the present right now. That's why when you are in the present and you acknowledge what you have, then you are happy in that moment. That's why it is saying Santoṣat anuttamaha sukha labha. And if you are not content, even you are living in palace, even if you are driving the most luxurious cars, still you will not be happy. That is the difference. That's why he says that. And Tulsidas ji also, he also says the same in the same lines, Santoṣa sam sukh nahi duja. There is no other happiness than contentment. Now if we live in busy lives, we are not like Maharishi Patanjali, Tulsidas, Kabir Das. We live in a different world. We have a family, we are running from morning to night, we have our goals, ambitions. So our mind will say, this is not for us actually. This is not for a dynamic life, that just practice contentment, I'd say enough and just sit. No. So I will just share what one of the most important figures in our history says. He is the person who was at the center of the changes, dynamic changes of the kingdoms were happening. He was the person who trained Chandragupta Maurya. He was the person who began the glorious era of Maurya Empire. So we are talking about Acharya Chanakya. Now, he is a person of action. Of course, he was a sannyasi also, but he is telling that, he is also telling Santoṣa paramo labha, means that contentment is the highest profit. Why he is telling that? Because he has seen empires coming to ruins, kings becoming paupers because of this incompleteness that they feel, because of that continuous feeling that they want more. He saw that ministers becoming corrupt because of that greed. That's why he is writing Santoṣah paramo labha, means that is the highest profit. So contentment is a value, it is very important, and in our practically also in our lives we have experienced it. There are moments with less only we were very happy, and we chased a lot, but at the end we were still unfulfilled. We all have experienced that. So now, okay, we established what is contentment, what contentment is not, and why, what is the result, what contentment gives. It is the sukha, it is the ananda that we receive. Not only after practicing the sadhanas we will get it, but during the practice also we are getting that happiness. So how to practice it? Now for the practical guidelines, Bhagavad Gītā is the ultimate guide. So Bhagavad Gītā tells about couple of things that are very important. First thing is nishkama karma. Nishkama karma or karma yoga, we will see it as sadhana also again. Nishkama karma is where you put aside your ego, your selfish desires, and you are working for a result, but you are not insistent about that result, because you are not investing your all mental energies in the result. You are just putting your effort right now, right here, in the duty which is there in front of you. That is nishkama karma, and that gives you a samatva buddhi also. That gives you that emotional moderation that we talked about. You are just working for the duty. You have a duty and you are doing that duty. And Gurudev also explains this very nicely. He says that we have three leakages when we act, which decreases our efficiency. What is that? Regrets of the past, excitement in the present and anxiety about the future. So we tend to leak our energy in these three channels. And if we are doing our duties without that insistence on the phala or the result, then what happens? Then our energies are channelized in that one moment, in that present moment when we are acting, and that will increase our efficiency, and that will increase the chances of getting the result also. But karma yogi is not focused on even that I will get improved efficiency if I don't want the phala. So that is how nishkama karma helps in generating a feeling of contentment, because what you have, you are working with that, and what you will get is enough for you right now, and you can aspire for more, but right now it is enough. This is what you can do, and you are doing that. And also Gurudev says one more thing, very important thing: keep your mind where your hands are. Means same idea. Do not channel your energies here and there. Do not scatter your energies. Just what you are doing right now, right here, focus there only. So that is one thing, practical thing that we can do. And this is practically how Santoṣa can work, because a content mind is actually living in the present. It's because you are content, that's why you are living in the present. And in spiritual life, this present moment is very important. Many Mahatmas talk about living in present, just be. When they say that is right here, right now, just be. That is what living in present is. Then, and it is a sadhana, because life is not perfect if we measure it, if we keep comparing it. But if we are content, life seems perfect for right now, right here. That's why. Seems perfect means you will find it perfect only if you start practicing contentment, and little by little it actually becomes perfect. For you, for the practitioner, it becomes perfect. From outside world, they may say, what, you lack this and you lack that. Like when people see us like this, brahmacharis, they also see poor people, they have no life, but really we are enjoying it in other ways. That contentment, value of contentment, that works in different levels, and you if you have practiced it, you know that it works wonders. Then Bhagavad Gītā also says, atmanyev atmana tushtaha, means Bhagavad Gītā is explaining about a sthita prajna, that one is content in oneself. It is talking about jnani, but what we need to understand, when we talk about jnani, then Gurudev says often that siddhasya lakshanani sadhakasya sadhanani, means what is the nature of siddha, what are the qualities of siddha are to be imitated by the sadhaka. That is the sadhana. So we are talking about a sthita prajna who is content, and that contentment we need to practice. So how to practice now? Now we will talk about, before that also, I saw one documentary couple of years back, and very interesting documentary actually about contentment. Sometimes we feel okay, when we have enough, then we are content, but in lack, that balance is gone. So about that, there is this idea which came. There is this Southeast Asian countries, there are island countries, and monsoon comes, right? And there are lush green forests, so much abundant with fruits and flowers and leaves and everything, so much abundant that the monkeys living there, one kind of monkeys, macaques I think, so they are so fulfilled that they never fight. There is no aggression. If you compare with other monkeys, there is no aggression, and the community is so lovely. They hug each other, they groom each other. It's so loving. So the point is, when you have everything, then even the monkeys are practicing contentment. But the main point comes, if you can practice it when you don't have things, when your mind is telling you lack it, and then you practice. That is what being human is actually. That is what your sadhana is. That is where when we talk about the evolution of, we are more evolved, then let's practice that evolution. So there the contentment comes, and that is where we need the practice. Then now we will there are some obstacles also which we'll take how to practice it, in practically how to practice contentment. But before that, let's just see what are the obstacles also, which will hinder your practice, which will tell you that it's not enough, nothing is enough. What is that? There are a couple of things, like there is a culture, like comparison culture. We tend to compare. In childhood, you may remember that, somebody scores more marks than you, and then you will be told, oh, if you have dedicated more hours, then you must have scored like that, you would be you would have got first position. So seeds are sown like that. But now it is a funny situation. Earlier it was just a neighboring area from where you get the comparisons. Now the comparisons are in your hand. Constantly you are doing that, what is it called, swiping and seeing the reels, and somebody is eating avocado toast, and it is not here, the fruit is not here, but now you want that avocado toast. If you don't get it, then you are unfulfilled, and you want that for breakfast, and then you somehow get it. Until you don't get it, you are so much discontent, you are so much agitated, and you get it, then you take a photo, you put it on your reels, and then you are happy. So, what one has, what one does not have, this constant comparison keeps on going. Social media is like, adding the ghee in that fire. And that is our problem, first problem. So, it cannot be stopped. Of course, technology you cannot stop. It will be a part of your life. But if you are content, if you are practicing contentment, then your mind will tell you, you don't need to compare. What you have is enough. Then, other is, we are addicted to outside stimulations. We are never satisfied with ourselves, like sitting. Now the culture has been like this. Earlier, maybe people were there who will go and sit and just enjoy the sunrise or sunset. Now that stimulation is so much important that the quietude is like abnormal thing. People get restless. I tell you, personally, I experienced. I was in a university, very, very shant campus. There were forests in that area, and some people were from busy city life, and couple of weeks, starting weeks, they were so agitated. Why? There was no noise, there was no traffic, there was no crowd, and they were really agitated, and you can see that. And that is how our minds are getting trained to consider silence as abnormal, to consider solitude as abnormal and call it loneliness, to consider quietude, restfulness as restlessness. So that is one big problem that we have to work on. And contentment, if you are content, these will not be a problem for you. You will be very calm in such situations. You will look forward to actually quietude and solitude. Then third is achievement. We are dependent on achievements. Not achievements like we are dependent on validations. We are dependent on certifications from others because we think our self-worth depends on all these things. So that is one other problem. So how to practice it? Now practically we'll see how to practice. So sadhana, one which we can do is gratitude. First thing. It seems very simple, but it is very tough. Gratitude means you are acknowledging what you have right now, and you are acknowledging with your heart. It's not just superficial. You are acknowledging what you have, and it is best for you. That is gratitude. Whatever is given to you is best for you. That is gratitude. And so every morning when you get up, you don't get up with the feeling, oh, I wish I had a car, then I can go to office fast. I wish I had a bigger house. No, be grateful with what you have, because what you consider as the lacks of your life is actually dream for somebody. That old car that you have, somebody is dreaming for that. So be grateful for that. Be grateful, and that will develop contentment, because gratitude is a feeling that changes that inside attitude, and it will take you in another realm, because then you see the abundance in your life, not the lacks. Then sadhana 2 is need versus wants. Always be careful what you need and what is just a want, whims and fancies of your mind. So always be careful about that. We should know what our needs are. Then sadhana 3, very important, pause. Before any impulsive action, before any impulsive thing that your mind is telling, buy this, buy that, pause and ask, that need versus want, do that analysis and pause and see if you need it. And before reacting, just see if that reaction is needed. Is it worthwhile? Do you need anything from outside world to make you happy? Then sadhana 4, as we discussed, karma yoga. As Gita says, karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Do not get attached to the results, just focus on your right to act. Right now, just act. That is the most beautiful practical advice that our scriptures give. Act right now, do not insist upon the result. And karma yoga works best when you have an altar, higher altar to dedicate your action, because that frees you from, it gives you that freedom to act. And you are not a small entity, but you are a part of something bigger, some bigger plan, and that just is mind-blowing. Then sadhana 5, daily inwardness. That is also very important. Practice daily inwardness. Means japa is there, puja is there, dhyana is there. If one cannot do all this, then just start with sitting still. Just start enjoying the sunrises and sunset. Just get that habit of that solitude, enjoying that solitude, stillness. That is very important, and that should be a part of daily sadhana along with your swadhyaya. This all builds up that momentum to turn within where all the fulfillments are there. If you can just turn, the moment that agitation, the material world agitations, that the grip loses and you turn inside with this force of contentment, then the whole kingdom of self opens up, as Shastra says, Atma Samrajya. That opens up new doors to a world where you are not dependent on outside world for your happiness, for your fulfillment, for anything. Actually, what you have is enough, and that feeling is the best feeling, because you know that you do not depend outside. You are not giving the key of your happiness in others' hand. You are enough. So that is what this contentment works. And to conclude, we will see one very beautiful doha by Rahim Das. It is, चाह गई चिंता मिटी मनवा बेपरवाह, चाह गई चिंता मिटी मनवा बेपरवाह, जिनको कुछ नहीं चाहिए वे शाहन के शाह, ए साधो वे शाहन के शाह. Means, actually in these two lines all the yogas, every sadhana is coming. It is saying, चाह गई चिंता मिटी. All the desires are gone, anxieties are destroyed. What is it? It is karma yoga only, where you are not, desire prompted actions are not there, and chinta miti, that anxiety of the result is also gone. Karma yoga. Manuva beparvaha. Mind is free, carefree. When the mind is carefree, actually, if you look back, then the point where you were crossing the road holding the hands of your parents, you were really carefree, because you trust that person walking beside you holding your hand. That trust, that authority that you give to the other person, that frees you from that anxiety, the tensions. And that's why Bhakti Yoga frees you, because you have an higher altar where all the actions are given, everything is given. That will take care, that frees the mind. So, चाह गई चिंता मिटी मनवा बेपरवाह, जिनको कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Who are the people who do not want anything? जिनको कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Jnana margis. They know there is nothing worthwhile in outside world. It is all just transient things, finite things. So, जिनको कुछ नहीं चाहिए वे शाहन के शाह. They are the emperors of emperors, kings of kings. So the point is, any sadhana you take up, the baseline is, if you are content, if you have that key of contentment in your hand, then you turn within and you get that kingdom of the self, which is open, which is yours just to claim. Just that turning requires this feeling, this value of contentment. And I really hope that we get that key, and I really pray to the Lord, to Gurudev, to our entire Guru Parampara, that we get that key, we use that key, we open the doors to that kingdom of self, and that contentment is not just a key, it is the ground where all your sadhanas become effective. So with this, we conclude this session, and I thank you all for coming today and attending this session, and may God bless us all with this key and with this samrajya, Atma Samrajya. Hari Om. We'll end with the Shanti Mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Tat Sat.